Feminism is one of the oldest movements in global history. In recorded history, feminism has three waves. The first wave begins in the 1800s and the 19th century with leaders like Susan B. Anthony and black slavery abolitionist Sojourner Truth who were advocating for voting and ending gender discrimination. First wave feminism is fine, and most men would agree that women have the right to vote. Second wave feminism is where, in the 1960s and 70s, is where things get complicated. After World War II, many fathers, men, and leaders of the households were sent off to fight the war. Women they married were forced to leave the households for the first time and start to rebel against their husbands. Before I continue, I wish to mention that there is under God and defined Buddhist and Hinduism accomplishments a divine masculine and divine feminine. Under God, men are obviously meant to protect, provide, and defend. This is why they can do dangerous jobs such as veterans, police officers, construction workers, and so on. Women under God are natural nurturers, which is why they tend to make better elementary school teachers, therapists, nurses, and so on. We have natural gender roles, believe it or not, and marriages tend to be most successful when gender roles are respected. Before the 1960s, most households required only one person to work and be the provider, which is typically the man. But economic changes happened during this era that required both man and wife to be working, which is the largest problem in most modern marriages. Oftentimes, husband and wife are put in situations where they are competing with each other in order to raise a family, and children suffer the most because both mother and father have no time to give them much needed attention. When children aren't being raised by parents, they become children to the corrupt government and silly trends on social media. Third wave feminism of the 90s and 2000s is the most dangerous. Women of this era are so removed from the natural gender role that most of them hate men, disrespect the idea of marriage and being someone who can nurture their family, and actually would rather express their gender role by being promiscuous, overly sexual in order to liberate themselves. This is incredibly misguided and dangerous for patriotic, traditional family values that this country is built upon. This is not about hating or blaming women, but this is a PSA to suggest that marriages, families, and children are best supported and everyone's happiest when women take on more traditional conservative roles. Men protect and provide, and women nurture. Anything other than that is evil, corrupt, and goes against God. I would never date a woman that was a modern-day feminist, and I tell all my friends to avoid them because they are delusional. Any woman that I've ever loved that in my life provides happiness has been traditional and conservative. Thank you. That is all.